everybody back into another episode of Devil's Den Radio. I'm your host, DevilJon. As usual, I have my hippies here with me. Hippie Soul.
Hey, guys.
And Hippie Mike.
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
You know.
And gal?
Not much.
Same old.
All right. Well, we have a jam-packed weekend ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's
you do.
Yeah, it's my triumphant return to the stage again.
There you go.
But not in a manner in which I would have thought.
Well, sometimes you just got to get up there.
Yeah, the opportunity is an opportunity, and but I never would have thought that I would be in a cover band again, though. Because like when I started as a child, as a children, you know what I mean, as like one of the children, trying to join bands and shit. Which, let me tell you, I could start a side podcast of misadventures. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Slumpkin King. But hold on, let's do some bills real quick.
Why don't you?
Maybe over at patreon.com/devilsdenradio is where I'll do that new podcast of my misadventures of trying out for bands and jamming with bands and people sending me recordings and shit. And it's like, yeah, I got some stories, motherfuckers. Got some stories, but whatever. I'm sure you got some stories too.
Oh, but being in a band.
Misadventures of the bands that never were, in a sense, like the bands that you jammed with or you tried out with, and you're like, yeah.
I don't have too many of those stories. I didn't.
No,
I've only been in a couple of bands. I've just been in the same band for a really long time.
You're a lucky motherfucker.
Well, I was telling you guys some things before the show. I mean, I've left the band a few times, and then came back. There's been personnel changes. Some people got along better than others. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, there's some stories.
There's always stories.
But we're in a good place now. I think it's good mix of dudes. So, those things are in the past, and it is what it is. We're looking forward.
And there's always things that happen in bands. That's the reason why it's like an unspoken marriage.
Oh, it's totally like a marriage. And like a marriage, you kind of you got to pick your battles sometimes, and you don't always get what you want, and sometimes.
So it's like an unfruitful orgy fuck.
Kind of, yeah. You have to realize that you're a collective effort, and, when you're on stage, it's one sound, or it should be. It's not like a star vocalist and a star guitarist and a star drummer and a star keyboard player.
Yeah.
And then a bass player who's somewhere up there.
Somewhere.
Who happens to be the loudest instrument on stage. I don't know if people actually realize that, but
the keys?
No, the bass.
Bass?
The bass is the loudest
Well,
instrument.
the frequency that it holds.
You feel it more, just as much more than you hear it. But the bass player in a band, more times than not, if it's not the keyboard player, it's the bass player as the band director. I don't know why. I think because bassists.
Well, I did make the bassist in this cover band the director of sorts because I was like, I do not want to do this.
A singer shouldn't. A singer shouldn't tell an instrument player what to do.
No.
Sorry, that's not your role.
No.
No.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't want that.
No.
But nobody was trying to step up, so he stepped up.
Well, good. Because more than likely, he has a good picture of what the music should sound like, and he's the glue between the rhythm and the melody, like the rhythm and the notes that you hear. Like for Bob Marley's band, the Wailers, their bass player was the band leader. It was actually his brother who was the drummer. So they had this bond, and that's why the only those two sounded like that together. the Wailers rhythm section. But the bass player was the band director. It wasn't the guitarist because, they do the ticket, ticket, ticket. That's all you get out of the guitar in reggae for the most part. The bass is the one moving all over the place. And,
Yeah. That's the bass is really what holds it down in reggae, but that's why I like these reggae influenced bands.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get that.
No, they probably take like one or two techniques that are like quintessential reggae riffs and just recycle those over and over.
Yeah,
there are a few that are signature reggae bass type of style, playing. But when you listen to guys like Family Man from the Wailers, he rarely plays the same thing twice, but everything he plays sounds like quintessential reggae because he kind of created that vibe, Anyway, I think I went off on a...
Hippie Soul's all about the reggae vibes.
I love reggae.
I do like it, especially in the morning. It's my chill music.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I haven't steeped myself in it lately. Maybe I'm due.
There's some...
almost every morning.
Even with my reggae, I like the extreme artists as well, which is like really hard to believe. Like, yeah, right? Really hard to believe.
Yeah, right.
But my mom used to date a bunch of Jamaican dudes. So when it came down to like understanding, music, especially reggae music, like I knew more than the average bear.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely what I would say blessed with the mixtapes. All right. So mixtapes, for anybody that doesn't know, literally was just a CD with all like this DJ.
Not even
DJ
a CD,
recorded.
it was a legit cassette tape.
Sometimes it was a cassette. Yes.
It originated. That's why they call it a mixtape.
I know, but but when I was getting it at this time, it was just a burnt CD.
Yeah. So at that point, it was just called a mix. I made you a mix. You know what I mean?
But it was just a cut from a DJ party. So like then the DJ would be playing like all this like fucking fire ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, yo, who's this? And then who's that? And I'm like, all right, word. And then like I'd like get into those artists. And then most of the time I figure out that, when the artist I was listening to, I could not, nobody knew who they were. They were like, who the fuck is that? And then it's like, oh, you listen to reggae? What the fuck is Sean Paul saying in this song?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you really want to, like, you can't hear that? He enunciates pretty well, I think.
I like to practice drums to reggae because it's a total paradigm shift from what you're used to, the feel that you naturally have.
But that's pretty adjacent, though, for you, though, right? In, like, the setting of vibes a lot of time, right, with jam.
I'm a white boy. It's completely unnatural for me to put the downbeat, to not put, hit my bass drum on the 2 and 4. I'm sorry, to not hit it on the 1 and 3.
Okay.
And because on the 2 and 4, that's reserved for the snare. But to do it with the bass and the snare all the time, leaving a huge hole on 1 and 3, it's just not natural. It doesn't feel right. And you have to fight that. And when you get into a groove, when you're like really, let's say you do a fill, you have to remember to leave that hole on the 1 beat. You can't like put a stamp. Usually when you do a fill, you stamp it the very end on the 1 beat. Like, you hit the cymbal, like you end it with a crash. That crash usually falls on the 1 beat. You can't do that in reggae. So you just have to like play your fill and then 2, you just leave a hole there and then just drop it all on the 2. It's
I kind of like it though, because especially when like it's like timed just right, it's like almost like a mini drop every single time into the next part.
When you're dancing along to it, you're kind of like dipping down on the 2, and you're kind of up on the 1 and 3, and the 2 and the 4, you're kind of dipping down. And
I like how you like prefaced before all of this. You're like, I'm the white boy, and now he's like talking about dance moves.
Well, that's how your body moves. I'm telling you, the rhythm.
The rhythm be taking you, man.
That 100%. That's the whole point of the reggae rhythm, is to grab you and make you move like that.
Make you take a ride with it.
We're talking about the bass drum and the snare drum, which actually I should say is more times a rim knock. There's a lot of like rim knocks instead of snares. But then listen to the hi-hats. They're throwing triplets in there. They're throwing, like, they have a lot of fun on that hi-hat. It's like the only thing they really have to play with. You know, that thing, you know, you see drummers with their hands crossed over. The thing that they're hitting on the top.
Got no idea.
I know. I gotta realize I'm not always talking to drummers. I have to.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You might,
sorry if I seem like I'm mansplaining these.
I was gonna say if you look over and look at my wife's expression and say, "Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?"
Yeah.
And then it looks like Jackie Chan is looking back,
and
at
I am
you.
looking straight at you, like, "Yeah, you following me?" And you're like,
not
"No."
That part, I'm just not feeling so great right now.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, listen to some reggae.
Listen to some wiggy.
Smoke the
the
ganj.
Some electric lettuce. What's some other fucking names
for weed?
Yeah, that like that you've actually used.
Jazz cigarettes.
You've used that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Get the fuck out of here!
Like in a joke, almost like let's go smoke a jazz cigarette. Like I say it jokingly, you know what I mean? But I've called it a jazz cigarette before. It's an old term. They used to call it that.
Wow!
You never heard that? It makes perfect sense because
no,
weed and jazz were always...
No, but like once again, you prefaced a few minutes ago. You're like, hey. I'm white boy.
And here I am talking about
jazz cigarettes and fucking dance moves and shit. Like you're like, what the fuck?
Am I culturally appropriating right now?
No, I'm just joking.
Okay.
You're not. I'm just fucking.
I don't intend to.
I
prefaced it so that if I'm wrong, it's like at least I'm aware that I don't.
No, there's definitely some people in that community that they should definitely, maybe read a book more than talk. Because their education on certain matters, I think, are a little skewed. And cultural appropriation is something that they're going to have a hard time. Because that trust fund, doesn't allow.
I'll be honest. I would say recently, in more recent years, learned what that was, cultural appropriation. But now that I'm aware of it, I see it everywhere. You know what I mean? It can be very subtle too.
It's and there are certain, like, let's just take the one major issue. All right, we'll talk about the hair. All right.
Okay.
Hippie dude, right, with dreads, gets hired. Meanwhile, somebody of African descent has dreadlocks, and they could be passed on the hire because of.
I don't know about that.
No, that was definitely a lot of the hiring process that has happened to a lot of people that I've interacted with from the human service field. Okay. And they get turned down for, a promotion or something because of appearance.
That's just
I had to hide my hair.
I was nervous.
I was forced to wear a wig when I had locks. So
really?
I had the opposite happen to me, so I don't feel that way at all. I think people just discriminate against that hairstyle in the corporate world in general, regardless of your skin color.
I think so too. I think dreads.
They don't like it. They associate it with people being dirty and smelly. Period. Regardless of what your color is.
And sometimes, people, that, when you see people with dreads, you automatically, start stereotyping immediately as well.
If I saw a white dude with dreads walking around,
that's a pot-smoking motherfucker.
Like, I'm going to find that guy.
If he's not already in a K-hole.
I'm gonna make friends with that guy. No, but I definitely see, I think it's a new generation of people in the workforce that we're seeing, because even in my company, large international company, the people that I see in the cafeteria, it's funny, I like the people watching the cafeteria, I was just doing it today. I see guys that maybe 10 years ago, just by their looks, I think at least my company is a lot better at not judging a book by its cover. When I interviewed, I had a man bun, and not this beard, but even now, I'm the only guy in the office with a beard like this. And people love it. It's like, I'm not trying to brag, but it's become my thing.
Now it's your thing.
It's become my thing. I'm the guy.
You're the beard guy.
I'm the beard guy in the office, and it's a big office. There's a lot of
people.
You're
the Ron Swanson over here.
Kinda, yeah. But I saw a guy today. There are other beards, but
there are other beards,
but none like mine. There are many beards, but this one is mine.
They all converse and talk about my beard.
Yeah, but I see guys with long hair. They put it in ponytails. I never see a guy with long hair down. But, a lot of beards, ponytails. You never would have seen that 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's hard to...
And then, honestly, you see some people that it's like, if I didn't see you in this corporate building, I would think you're on welfare the way you're dressed. You know what I mean? We do have kind of a dress code. I mean, God.
But I will say, even though our fandom is in the underground arts, right? When you take those underground arts and you take it into a festival atmosphere, the plethora of people that you get to show up is very humbling. And because it is literally, it's like, wow, that is your lesson in sociology. People there.
People usually live two lives. The one, their day-to-day professional life, and then when they're not at work.
Yeah.
There's a guy I work with. He's a sales guy. I was talking about my dog, and he realized it was the name of a Fish song, so he pulled me aside. He's like, "Do you like Fish?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So we've bumped into each other at Fish shows since then. It's like... And then we go back to work, and we just nod. We were like, "Yep, got that understanding."
Hell yeah.
We have a little, I guess you could say, a little social networking site within the company, and my avatar, it's not my face, it's the fish logo. So it's my little flag for anybody who sees, like, that guy's a fish fan. They can message me, and we can make friends.
I'm fish friendly.
Yeah.
I guess you're looking for more friends.
Yeah, I used to keep it quiet that I liked Fish because of the connotation. Everyone, that drug band from the 90s. But now when they say it, I'm like, yeah, they're in their 50s and sober now. So what's your point? Plus, yeah. But so I talk about it now. I'm open about it, especially because one of the officers of my division is he's a bass player. He's in a band, and he's always like, we've talked about like Fish, and he's like, "Dad, those guys are just next level." I'm like, "Yeah, man, jam bands, woo!" And then I walk away from the conversation. I'm like, "Did I just fuck myself?" Like, now this guy knows what I do in my spare time. Like, nobody in a band doesn't smoke weed. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's either that or alcohol.
One or the other. They got a vice,
Yeah, it's weed or alcohol, and I usually prefer working with the potheads.
Oh, for sure. The drunks are too unpredictable.
Yeah, and then when they do show up, it's like, eh.
Well, plus weed makes you play better. Back to the jazz cigarette thing.
You're not playing jazz. You might play some jazz scales here and there, but come on, guy. That's a far stretch.
No, it's actually not. Jam band music, arguably, is modal jazz. With a rock beat.
That's a far stretch, my
really
guy.
Not. It's really not. When we're jamming, when we're playing in modes, what do you think modes are? Modal jazz is playing the modes with like a swishy swashy jazz beat behind it.
Swishy swashy?
Yeah.
I don't hear too. Well, I don't know.
Modal jazz. See, that's why I'm specifically saying modal jazz. I'm not. You improvise. It's all improvisation, but it's not as freeform. You know what I mean? Like, you are playing a variation of the chord, not necessarily the chord in its natural structure.
You're not getting Coltrane stuff.
No, that's like. There's jazz out there that I don't get. I don't understand. Like, you play everything but the right note. You know what I mean? I don't get it. But it's fascinating.
John Coltrane's cool, though.
Yeah.
You ever hear his, sessions that never made the cut? I, listened to that one time when I was, filing at work at my old job. And, somebody was like, what the fuck are you listening to? And I was like, it's fucking John Coltrane. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's
out there. But it's... The thing that I respect about jazz and also I love about jam is, you're never going to hear the same thing twice. Never. If you catch a recording of it, you're lucky. It's like lightning in a bottle, you know?
I can get down with some jazz sometimes. Definitely some jazz cigarettes. But
jazz cigarettes and then some jazz? Sign me up.
Why not at the same time? Jazz while jazz cigaretting.
Playing jazz.
Playing jazz.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not a good jazz player. I don't have the feel. Same thing with reggae. I don't have the feel. I
think that if you just, listen to a few, and just give it, a week or two, and, committed to it, I think you'd be all right.
I would need that plus a lot of jazz cigarettes. You know what I mean? You got to put yourself in the right headspace. Yeah. You have to become jazz.
You have to become jazz.
Honestly, he's not wrong. You do. It's it's cool, especially when you can see when certain people can hold their shit down, and you can definitely tell when the group is vibing. And you can definitely tell that somebody's a hired gun and is barely hanging on.
Well, yeah. Well, the hired gun, everybody moves aside for. You know what I mean? The drummer.
Well, I mean, the fill-ins, the hired guns. You can tell these people are just fill-in people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's you're faking it. You know what I mean?
90% of being a hired guitar player is playing rhythm guitar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it'd be hard to be hey, you're the fill-in lead guitar player. It's what?
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't want to.
Well, probably because they have...
Well, unless it's somebody that's the main vocalist is also the guitar player.
Yeah, and they just
then it's
the sound. Like Dave Mustaine.
Fatten up the sound,
you know what I mean? When he goes off... But that dude can sing and shred at the same time, which is,
It's hard.
Not many people can do that.
Yeah, not many.
Did you hear him and Metallica? They're going on tour together, or they're trying to. Megadeth and Metallica. I know. It's now that I say it, I'm second guessing it, but I know that there was a discussion with it, or maybe Metallica doesn't want to, and Dave Mustaine is "What the fuck, guys? I wrote half the songs you play."
On that first album.
Yeah. Well, and they still play them.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool, and I thought that they were at a place where they would do it, and I think it would be a great way to kind of close the chapter of Metallica. They could finally fucking retire.
I think Metallica is just one of those groups that I don't like it. That it is literally the accepted metal band. You know what I mean? It's like what people are like, oh, well, that's the metal band we accept, nobody else.
That everyone's compared to.
You know, yeah, and now everybody else gets compared to this. You know what I mean? And it's
the
like
band who's been around for 40 years, like
but they don't talk about
version of Metallica.
But they don't talk about
you know?
But they don't talk about the Metallica, you know, prior to the fucking Black Album. No, they talk about the super produced, you know, worked with a fucking producer, and it's like, yeah,
pop Metallica.
You know, yeah, Pop-Talica. There you go. Yeah, Metallica in the pop format.
No, we want Alcoholica. Remember Alcoholica? Before, I think it was it the Master Puppets days or the Injustice for All days? They unofficially were dubbed.
Mostly all the days. What do you mean? Like, he still has a sauce problem.
Well, no. They, like, the media dubbed them Alcoholica.
Yeah.
At one point, and it was, I want to say, the Master of Puppets days.
And they kicked Dave Mustaine out because he drank too much.
Yes, they did. They did. And then I want to say, yeah, because Cliff Burton, was he still alive when they were Alcoholic? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, so alcohol was there.
Probably not. I think he died right before Ride the Lightning.
I thought he was on Master of Puppets.
No.
No?
No, I think it was Injustice for All.
Jason Newsted was on Injustice for All. Was that his first album? Or was Master of Puppets his first album?
One of those two. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, so it's not like I would know.
You're not a huge fan of Metallica?
No.
I did not know this. I thought that they just, by default, were up there.
No.
Okay.
I think that, like, you know, do I know their songs and all, like, I think that's cool, but, like, for that reason, though, that I was like, they're like the chosen, like, metal band that everybody's like, okay, well, we'll accept that band and nothing else.
So you gotta go.
But, like, what about fucking Iron fucking Maiden, for fuck's sake?
Yeah, Bruce Dickinson,
like,
and harmonizing guitars. Like,
hello! Your guitar players are shitting all over your wah-wah pedal, so you're gonna you're gonna cry all over your wah-wah pedal that it's gonna short fuse. I'm sorry, Kurt Hammett, but you don't hold a fucking dick to those guys.
Did you see on YouTube, there's a video?
And then the singing, fucking Bruce Dickinson. On top of it all. Yeah, like, what the flying fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He took what Geddy Lee was trying to do, and he was like, no, let me show you. Like, you go up here, and it's supposed to sound like this.
It's very operatic.
Yeah, man.
La 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 la.
Yeah, but, like, it sounded good. It belonged with the
music.
Yeah,
that's what I mean, like that. But, like, you know, like, I was just, you know, like, I'm not trying to get sued because they definitely got
Well,
money.
I think Ozzy probably paved the way when it came to the high pitched metal voice. I don't know.
Yeah, Black Sabbath.
Cause she could not help me with my mind. Was there an era of high pitched vocalists? Because I feel like if there was,
Geddy Lee kind of set the bar for, like, as high as it was for a while, and then, like, most of the time people were like, "Ew, you listen to that singer sucks."
But then you go into the '80s, and
then it was like everybody wanted to do falsetto, and
Vince
it's like
Neil,
Vince,
you know, Axl Roses, they're all going high. I think that there was, as far as singers go, there was an era of high pitched vocals, male vocals. I mean, you got Michael Jackson. He sounded like a woman his whole life.
Yeah,
But, you know, he could sound as feminine as he was.
He's a tenor.
He's a tenor. He's a true tenor, yeah. I mean, he could even be an alto.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful voice, don't get me wrong. I'm actually a big Michael Jackson fan. Whoever he got to play on his albums, like those musicians...
Toto.
Fucking top tier.
Toto.
Was it Toto?
It was fucking Toto.
Then, damn.
The fuck?
Because I love Toto, and I can't believe... So
you didn't know...
Jeff Porcaro was he playing? No, he wasn't playing
He
drums.
he made a lot of different, like, there was, like, I think a couple members from Toto that were, definitely working as his producer.
Okay.
Especially on the Beat It. Like, when because
I know the drummer for Michael Jackson, like, I know who he was, and I forget his name right now, but, definitely not.
We should invite Ant back on, because he knows all about it, because he loves, like, the 80s bands, and, like shit. He's my resident 80s guy.
There are a lot of great musicians back then.
I was shitting in diapers the whole time.
I mean, I kind of was, too, but I wasn't so far removed.
Oh, no. Where'd you go, Hippie?
Hippie die.
Hippie.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Fucking the hippie's gonna die over here.
Come back, Hippie.
Oh no.
Come on.
Oh no, I think his cable finally said fuck you.
Come on. Oh hey, here we are. I'm back.
Yep.
All right. Oh, there we go.
Yep, there it is again. I gotta fix the lady.
All right.
There she is. No?
Is the one or the other situation here?
It was working.
It
What are
was.
you doing back there?
No one touched anything, literally. It just went boop.
Hello. Okay.
Hippie's back.
All right, we're back.
All right.
Back again.
So, see?
All right, what were we talking about?
So once again,
80s music.
80s music was, it's not my forte. I just didn't know it. And then also, anything that was, I guess you could say hair metal, with the falsettos like that. It was, extremely bubblegum. My mom was, maybe, not even, Def Leppard hard.
Yeah,
Oh no.
His metal penis is malfunctioning now.
You can steal mine if you want. I won't be upset. If we're going to have to keep battling, because your input in this conversation is more interesting than mine.
Well, like I said, the 80s, though, like I said, my mom was definitely there it is.
Oh, there you
Am
go.
I back?
Yep,
Oh.
you had it for a second there.
2 seconds.
Uh-oh.
He's
giving it the old Nintendo treatment now.
Yes, that's when you know you've reached desperate levels, as you're giving it the Nintendo blowing.
Our $15 cable has ceased to be.
Oh no. It's on E for end.
It's E for game over. Holy shit, though. But yeah, like I said, the 80s was not a big thing for me, but my mom would play a lot of Madonna and shit, so that would be late 80s, early 90s, right?
Yeah.
At the time, yeah, so that would be what would be a lot of what was in the K car.
Oh man.
The fucking K car, right? Let me see if I can try to fix Hippie again. Because I gotta, the K car.
Musical chairs first.
All right.
Here we go.
There it is. Now, don't touch it at all.
I don't have to touch
Don't
it.
breathe.
Don't touch it.
Away. Yep.
Don't
See?
touch
Told
it.
ya. There it goes. It's gone.
See, there's gotta be a short in the cable.
Bastard.
I hate when they're you have a cable for a while and then you do a sound check or whatever and you're all right, cool, this is good. And then all of a sudden it's where's that fucking buzzing sound? And you're what the fuck? That was not what I fucking, had going here at all. So take the chance to go over to devilsdenradio.com, and most importantly, go to patreon.com/devilsdenradio, where you can take stock in the show, give that special ass shout out, just like Shane, VeganJosh, and Mary. We're back to 3 again. Woohoo! Back to 3. But we need more than 3, because obviously with the cable situation over here, it's geez. We got we're almost at antenna level, right?
Almost. I'm going to wear my tinfoil next time.
And it's like, shit. I'm going to ask the wife, like, can you make our tinfoil hats, please?
There we go. I can do that. We have heavy-duty foil downstairs. We'll be fine.
I love a good heavy-duty foil.
Hell yeah. I had every time I think of foil, I think of this one person, and it's bad because it's the thing about it, but it's just like immediately they had a problem saying the word aluminum.
Okay.
So they'd be like, can you get the aluminum foil?
I'd be making him say it all the time.
I was like,
what
get the what? What kind of foil is that? Yo, and the brother was worse about it. It was like, yo, what kind of foil is that? Like, they were the ones that, like, you know, I was like, oh, yeah, that's bad. Aluminum foil.
I haven't talked about Letterkenny in a while. One of their characters can't say the word breakfast.
Breakfast?
Yeah. Breakfast. Breakfast. Yeah. It's not funny when no one gets the joke.
It's been a while since I've watched the show.
I know. It's kind of losing its steam.
Yeah, it's like I think the writing just got stale.
Well, have you seen Shorzy? The spinoff?
No.
You know Shorzy, a character from
the hockey kid.
Yeah. He got his own spinoff. And it's like dirty. But it's funny.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah. And it's all about hockey. Love hockey.
Hockey's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Best sport ever.
But
I'll have to check that out.
you know it's fucking wild though, and I'm thinking about it, and it's like, cause like a bunch of my coworkers are going, and I didn't think that they were gonna go. Like, I was just like, hey, you know, there's
to your gig?
yeah, and I was like, fuck.
Don't think about it. I mean, it's hard not to. It's way easier said than done. But when you're up there,
oh yeah, it's like,
I hope this happens where you kind of almost black out. Like, remember that?
I usually do that.
That scene in what was that fucking Old School where Will Ferrell like blacks out. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and he fucking nails it. Yeah,
like
Old School.
That is the best thing you can hope for, because that means you were completely immersed in your music and you gave it your all. You know what I mean? And you're not, and if by doing that, you're not thinking about who's out in the crowd. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm not really like thinking about the judgment of that. I'm just surprised I'm more surprised that like people were like, yeah, I'll go to that. Like,
yeah, because it's kind of hard to get people to come out to see you sometimes.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, like, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was in a band for the better part of my life, you know, for a good amount of time, and to get people to come out to those shows and shit was, or to sell tickets and shit like that. It was like fucking like it was like asking. It's like, hey, do you mind if I like, you know, fuck your girlfriend in front of you or something? It's like the types of looks I'd get. It's like, what the fuck? Like, no, dude, I'm asking you, would you like to go to a show? And I know that you may like that, or, you know, hey, it's $15, little man. You know, like, put that shit in my hand, and then you can go.
I still hate asking people to buy tickets to a show.
You feel like
But sometimes, like, especially with the Sherman Theater, when we started playing there, that's how you kind of prove to them that you're worth
you have draw.
So what we used to do, and this actually, you know, I'm glad we did it, but we bought all the tickets. So they got all the money for every ticket. So we, at the end of the day, could go and say, yeah, we sold everything. But really, we just paid it out of our own pocket, and then whatever we could sell, we could sell. But we did that like 2 or 3 times. So as far as they knew, we sold every ticket every time. And that's all they cared about. And then after, I want to say 3 or 4 times doing that, then it's just like when we knock on their door, they answer. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, we'll see what we can do for you. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, sometimes it definitely opens up the door a little bit more.
But I know Frank paid some out of pocket. I paid some out of pocket. We didn't ask the band, the rest of the guys. It was like we just really, really wanted this gig so bad.
Yeah,
we did what we had.
The pay-to-play gigs, though, they fucking hurt, man.
Well, the pay-to-plays are like, you know, you have to, here's 10 tickets or here's 50 tickets. Well, they ask you, how many think you can sell? Can you sell 50? We'll give you 50. Sell what you can. Well, you basically owe us the money for 50 tickets the day of your gig. So sell what you can. If not, you know, that's like pay to play.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to pay back what's not sold. We've had a few of those. There was one festival. It was a great looking festival. We wanted to play it. And then when we finally got in contact with the guys, it was something like that where it's like you had to, essentially we were going to literally pay him money to go play. And, he threw the whole exposure thing at us. Oh my God. Never say that to a band.
Oh.
We were like, we ended the conversation with, do people actually agree to this bullshit? And that's pretty much how we ended it. Yeah, we were like, no,
wow.
we never played it. And honestly, that festival no longer exists. It didn't last a couple more years after that because he couldn't get people to. He couldn't get entertainment. There was nothing to draw people. It became a cash grab for him.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with these little festivals. Sometimes it's like a cash grab, and they don't put a whole lot of effort. We've played a few of those.
That's sucky.
You get there and we're going to have this, but you start to realize who are the promoters who you can believe.
Well, yeah,
and who is like.
It's always like people trying to extort you.
Yeah. There's one guy, it's like we're trying to settle up with the bands, and it's like pulling teeth to try to get them to pull the money out to pay the bands. It's like, what the hell would you think? We're all playing for free, you know? I'm thinking of one guy in particular. He didn't even pay the grounds that he rented.
That's terrible.
Yeah, he tried running off with every little bit of cash he could. We chased him down. You just stay on him enough, he'll pay you. But why do you have to do that every time? You know? Yeah, that's dealing with hippies sometimes. You know,
that's just dealing with people.
That's true.
People are shiesty, you know what I mean? And in a business situation, especially in most transactions, it's like, how can I get over and win?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you already played and you didn't get paid yet, then I guess you're fucked. And as long as I get away from you, I'm good.
Yeah, well, there's typically, there's an honor system. You know, you walk off stage and a good place will walk right up to you as you're tearing down and hand you a check. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. I would think that's, how it should be.
Yeah. Not many people get paid before you play. That's kind of like, just to make sure you do the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want fitty.
Nah, I've never had that situation.
I'll negotiate fitty. 50% to get me there.
That sends a message.
50% when I get off the stage.
That sends a message that you don't have a whole lot of faith in the guy, or that they don't have a whole lot of faith in you. Like, why are you holding the other 50? Do you don't think I'm gonna? And are you gonna not pay me? You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna try to find a reason to not give me my other half?
Yeah.
No, 50%, because of the fact that if you really want me to perform there, then you'll, make the arrangements, for that to happen. And I'm not asking for 100%. You know what I mean? So, I'm not asking for the 100% of the guarantee. I'm asking for 50% so that it's like a show of faith that it's like, hey, give me, I want you to play here. So we're going to treat you right.
I mean, that'd be awesome. I wouldn't turn that down, really, if they said, "Hey, here's a couple $100."
Because then also what that also does is it covers possibly the gas expense to get from where I'm at to that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm traveling to get there, then that would really help a lot. But ideally, you're traveling from another gig that you just got paid for if you're on tour. You know what I mean? So you're funding as you go, but that's not the case for guys like you and me. You know what I mean?
But also, even if you're going from gig to gig, I think that the next gig, how do you expense that? You know what I mean? Then how do you expense that per venue?
Yeah. You kind of build it into what you're getting paid. Make it worth it. You know what I mean?
See, that's something where you can definitely chime in. So it's like, the business and shit. It's like, well, yeah, how do you
There's definitely a point where it's handled differently. We're still at the level where we're kind of dealing with it ourselves.
Well, yeah, it's like per diem.
Yeah, and then there's the next level up where you have somebody handling that for you. and you as the musician, you're going to get paid at the end of that gig every single time, and it's up to the other guy to make sure that he's got money to pay you with. You know what I mean?
Booking agents,
yeah. We finally have one now, and it's really nice. It's really nice.
Especially when they're working. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And not only that, and the things that they book are truly working.
Well, he's a fan, and so he knows our audience. So he knows where the audience is gathered. He knows where the festivals are going to be. So he's reaching out and getting us into those festivals. And there were a couple gigs. He tried to get us a couple gigs in New York City, and we kind of had to tell him that he was actually suggesting the exposure thing. Getting the exposure in New York will be a good thing. And we're kind of careful of the exposure trap. It's always enticing, but it's rarely rewarding. You get lost in a sea of other people. And I know what it's like. We've played those small little places in New York City. The only people that are going to be in that bar are the other band members, or the other bands that are waiting for their turn to play. There is nobody else in that place. You're not going to get discovered. You're not going to generate a buzz about you. The people are going to talk about you forever and whatever. That is not going to happen by playing in the city. Sorry. Especially jam band. You know? So.
Yeah, it's hard.
So you got to find, where are our people? We're at these little festivals.
Yeah,
put us in front of the people that are going to listen to us. So.
Speaking of hard rockin' Saturday, man. I'm gonna be I don't know how I want to approach this yet, though. With the energy, I definitely need a microphone stand. I think, because I was telling her, I was I might wear boots, and she's like, why?
Why? Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it.
And I was because I was I don't want to run around like I used to. You know what I mean?
So let me just remind you that the stage is nothing more than the room you're in, except for I'm over there, or I'm over here, and you're over there. You're not on some kind of big stage. You don't need to dress up. You don't need to put on a certain kind of personality. You know what I mean?
But the problem is,
go there and sing the song. Just go sing the songs. It's that simple.
It's put on a show.
Are you sure?
Because my position is front man.
Position is singer.
Front man.
Of a cover band.
Of a cover band.
I'm not trying to cut you at the knees or take out of your sales, but I don't want you to go up there and look at a place. You know what I mean? Like overshoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Think of the venue and the reviews that we were reading online about said venue, and maybe tone it down to that level of people.
Oh, if that's the tonal, then I'm just gonna be go sing.
Play the song. Sing the song. If the song tells you to scream, then scream. If the song tells you to sing with a nice soft timbre, sing with a nice soft timbre. But you don't have to go there and I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do. Shut me up. I'm gonna stop talking. You go, do you, man? I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to see it.
It'll be fun. But I'm just thinking about I was like, damn, man, it's been a fucking long time, since I was all right, well, when was the last time? Yeah. Okay, so it's okay, let's use my shitty database here. And it was One Without Rival. We fucking literally had a drummer who I think we jammed with him for a couple of years. And then we only got to play one show because it was so hard to find other people to actually play what we were trying to play.
Yeah.
And he was playing complicated drum beats and stuff, so much so that he was triggering and shit. So, and it's all right, I could and then we had a falling out about certain things because I was the triggers are cool, but we gotta tone down certain things.
It was a little much.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you kind of get
because it almost sounded like industrial, you know what I mean? And I'm we're not an industrial band.
So what sounds good in your bedroom doesn't always sound good on stage.
Truth.
You know?
Truth.
And I guess that what I'm really trying to say with that whole point before was it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and forget to play the music. Because I run into the same thing, especially when I came back to the band. I had to consciously say, you want to play that, but don't. You know what I mean?
You want to do this, don't
I
you?
want to, yeah. I had to stop myself from playing more than I let myself play.
Like, slow your roll.
Yeah,
man.
calm down. Don't stand out. Because I know that about me. I'll overshoot. So.
Yeah, I don't think it. Well, I definitely have. I still have my my rituals that I do before, which is always fun. I can't wait to smoke my pre-joint, my pre-show joint.
Whatever puts you where you need to be. I know.
And then I'll have my nice throat tea.
Yeah, I still have to get that from you. Because when I go back into the studio, I've been working on my vocals that I'm doing.
Okay. And
they're really going to test me. Like, I know the notes I want to sing, but now that I have the physical challenge of singing them. You know what I mean? I pick the harmonies, and I just got to get my voice there.
I hate doing that. And then it's now with digital recording space, it's so much easier to do that. And it's okay, well, I can do this, and then to harmonize that, I can either choose this, or go this.
Yeah.
Then, or if you want to go fucking wild, it's well, there's infinite possibilities.
Well, it was nice that I put down scratch harmonies because I have. And it's what I've been singing up until now, but I never had a chance to listen back to it. And now I'm listening back to it. I'm like, I could go here with it, and it will complement what's going on better. So I've been practicing all that kind of stuff, but it's involving a lot more of a physical effort from my throat, my vocal cords. And so I'm a little nervous going to the studio.
What kind of warm-ups are you doing?
I only know 2 or 3 warm-ups, but...
You're just doing chromatic scale up and down?
That and I go... I used to remember it in solfege, but it's the do, mi, re, fa, mi, la, da 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 da. So you're kind of skipping, going.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And then you start from the top and go down to the bottom. Da 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 da. But anyway, I do that real slow, and then I'll work on my vowels. Every single vowel. Because
your mouth.
Your mouth.
Yeah, I know.
The shape of your mouth makes such a difference when you're singing. Oh my God, it really does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything. Your lungs, your diaphragm, your...
Yep. And when I do the warm-ups, I realize that I naturally sing terribly. I don't naturally sing properly.
He's like,
I
that's what makes me nervous, because I'm going to go into a booth and try to sing proper, and it's going to sound like I'm trying to sing proper. It's not going to sound natural, but if I sound natural, it's not proper. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm overthinking. I don't know.
If you've practiced your notes that you're wanting to sing, and you know that you can hit those notes, it's just as simple as going in and doing it then.
You're right. And yeah, I'm overthinking. Because I can hit the notes, that's the thing, but the tone is not consistent.
There is a song that is in the list.
Okay. All
right, and I did everything in my power to hissy fit and be like, no, we gotta pull it. We don't know. No, I don't want to do that. Because it literally pushes me at that level where it's you're gonna lose this, you're gonna lose it, because this is pushing you beyond your limits.
I worry about those moments.
And it's okay, well, but when everybody else in the band is no, it sounded dope, you need to shut the fuck up. And it's oh, well then I guess I'll do that then. But in my mind, I feel like I eat big bag of dick with this song. It's like, what the fuck?
I'll be listening to try to figure out what song that
is. You're going to be like, yeah, you're going to find out.
That's the note.
He's like, yep, there it is. That's the one that he was subconscious about. I see it. All right.
And you also have to remind yourself, as like with, look, we're not rock stars, you know.
Oh, I get that.
Some of the singers that we emulate are just really good singers, and we're not them. You know what I mean? So I learned this bartending for a lot of open mics.
Yeah.
And karaoke nights.
Yeah, karaoke night, and I think cover band night. I think cover band's above karaoke night. Although sometimes you get a dime, you know, like a really cool cover band.
Yeah, no.
Where you're like, oh my God.
I'd rather watch a live band than karaoke night anyway. Anytime.
Yeah, there's very rare, I like 1 in a million chance that you see somebody like get up for karaoke night and it's like,
bam,
yo,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fucking do another.
Yeah. No, it's I think I've said this before, but there should be a rule that if you're a female, you're not allowed to sing Janis Joplin or Adele, and that's pretty much it.
Well, if they're at a bar, they're gonna fucking sing Adele.
Every single one.
They're sad and drinking.
No, you know that. Yes, they've spent so many nights white girl wasted, screaming those songs in bars or in their car, and they think they are Adele. Oh my God.
What the fuck, man? It's like, yeah, I hear it.
No, the other one, Rolling in the Deep.
Nah.
Because it's got that falsetto part. Everyone fucks that up. It's like, stop. Just stop.
You could have had it.
Yeah. Everyone misses that note. Yeah, it's bad.
You could have
And the
had
other
it.
is, the other one is Me and Bobby McGee from Janis Joplin.
Oh.
And
I don't like Janis Joplin much anyway.
She's phenomenal. I love the way she sings. But everyone
what she
who tries
does
to
is
sing
cool.
is like a tick flat
Yeah.
every single time. They can't stay at her range like for an entire song. By the end of the song, when the song really picks up, they don't have anything left. Yeah. And they're flat on everything. It's so painful to listen to.
Yeah.
And you just want to like, you know, they're only up there because somebody told them they were good. You know? So you want to find that person and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Liquid courage will fuck somebody's brain up.
Oh, I've fallen victim to that. That's why I kind of have the band has an unspoken rule, like no drinking. You're not allowed to get drunk and play. You think you sound better? You don't.
You never do.
You never do.
Yeah.
Now we have our safety meetings during every show. So.
Oh yeah, like that's a safety meeting. You know what I mean? Safety meetings are different.
We do it for you.
We do it for you. We do it for us. Most importantly, we do it for her.
Mm-hmm. We do it for the girls in the front row.
Do it for her. Right there. That soul right there. Because if the soul doesn't get that lettuce.
What?
The soul doesn't get her lettuce. Her Latin lettuce. Her electric lettuce.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? I've never heard Latin lettuce before.
Me neither.
No.
That's why I was
electric
like,
lettuce
what?
I've heard.
Yeah. What? Well, it came from, Mexico at one point. Hello.
Marijuana.
Hello. You wanted to use an outdated thing? I wanted to even more outdate your ass.
Yeah.
I was like, I went Henry Onslinger a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
anybody out there is like, did you just drop a fucking history bomb on me? Like, what the fuck?
I'm still in Reefer Madness days.
And it's like, the reefer will kill you, and it'll make you go mad.
The guy smokes it, and he's like, and then jumps out a window.
Do you want to go insane like that, man? Go ahead, smoke the wacky cigarette.
But then came salvia, and that actually made people jump out windows.
Yo, dog.
Remember
dog.
that shit? I tried that once.
I did too.
What did it do for you?
I just literally blacked out and apparently laughed a lot.
Everything turned into 2D, which is the weirdest fucking thing. Like,
I blacked out.
You're kind of like, you feel like you're standing on top of a fence, and if you lean back, you're gonna fall. If you lean forward, you're gonna fall. And then I remember, like, I finally moved to the point where I could see like the underside of something, and it blew my fucking mind that there was like a part underneath it. Like, there's an underneath part to that. Oh my god! But it was like 30 seconds, and then I started coming back.
That's weird.
But that's my. It was 2D. Everything became 2D. Fuck, it freaked me out, man.
That's fucking scary.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of no thanks.
Yeah, I don't want to be Mario.
Yeah, it was a panic too. I remember being in a panic while.
Yeah, I don't think I would like that.
I would be panicked.
Yeah.
Living in a 2D world. What the fuck?
Like feeling like you have to tiptoe along this like fence or you're gonna fall.
I was afraid to move.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to move either.
I was sitting on a
frozen.
couch. I was sitting down, so it's not like
you could have really fallen at that moment.
Were you
but
sitting on the dock of the bay?
No, I was sitting on a couch. There was a coffee table in front of me, and it's like I must have leaned forward finally and noticed that I could see like kind of under the coffee table. I'm like, oh my god. It's like 3D. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Did you see the bubble gum under there too?
I don't remember. No, there was no gum under there.
No. It was just new world.
Yeah.
This new dimensional world underneath this coffee table.
The concept of dimension just blew my mind.
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
And you didn't do acid before?
I had done acid before. This is not, it wasn't like acid.
That's intense.
It's a totally
That's
different,
pretty intense.
Yeah, no. No, acid is a whole different other thing.
Yeah.
That's more.
Yo, I feel the last time I tried, right? I felt like I could do whatever I wanted to do in a sense. Like where it was like, you know, like orchestrator mode. Like it's like I was like I can orchestrate like everything in my environment. Yeah. Like and like you put a public figure, like let's say an officer, right? And then you take that officer and you go whoosh, like down to like a nothingness, and you like talk to them just like they're like that little person, and they're like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
but I wouldn't talk to an officer when I'm tripping. That's one person I wouldn't talk to.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah?
Did you?
Yes, I did, officer.
I actually, not on acid, but on mushrooms I did once.
Yeah, we got pulled over.
On our way back from Tool.
Yeah, we sure did. I'm sitting in the front seat. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not even going to look at this. That cop is
bad at his job if you let you guys go.
He totally did. Without a ticket or anything.
Wow.
Like, we were
that was in your neck of the woods, too. Really? Coming off a concrete mile.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Now, I remember one time I was hanging out with my buddy, and his girlfriend was having a girls' night, so we were just, like, camped out at the house, and we were like, he got some mushrooms, let's eat them. I'm like, all right. And they'd kicked in, they just started kicking in, really, and his phone rings, they got a flat tire.
Oh,
no. They're like, oh, we need help. And you know, the girls, there's 4 of the girls, so they're just like, we have to call for help. So by the time we got there, there was a tow truck and a cop. And we pull up and we just like pull off onto the side of the road. I'm not driving, but you know, he pulls off on the side of the road, and then it dawns on me. I'm like, we just pulled off, we just stopped. That's going to call attention to this car. We're committed. We have to get out of the car and just, you know, check up on our friends like we came here to do. We can't do anything suspicious.
We're committed now.
Yeah, we're committed to this. We have to like act like, you know, we're here to help our friends. And so I get out of the car. I'm like, I got this. I can do it. You know, long story short, nothing happened, but I did like go up to the friends. The cop's like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm their roommate. You know, she's his girlfriend, and they called us, and we came here. We didn't know you guys would be here. And I got through that interaction, and then I'm just like, get me the fuck out of here. Like,
I'm done
like,
with
yeah.
I made it.
Yeah, I made it. I talked to a cop. I don't want to be here anymore.
Let me go.
Yeah, let me go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like, your fucking pupils are like fucking dinner saucers.
I mean. That's what I mean. I know
like,
cops do. They look at your eyes. That's one thing that they're trained to look at.
Dog, I made just enough eye contact that night where it was just like, okay, and
yeah.
My
eyes must have been like huge. I was definitely peeking.
Purposely just kept staring straight ahead, like.
See, but even that I would think is suspicious.
So much so, I had a backseat passenger, right, that made a comment. Like, he's like, "Are you all right still? Like, are you like, are you like, are you still like feeling, experienced here?"
While the cop is there.
Yeah. And I was like,
Dude,
oh,
I was
like, well, it was like after, like, we were like,
after.
he was like, so, like, are you like? I was like, oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't think I would have been all right if I wasn't.
I was like, that was wild, man. I don't want to do that again.
I was like,
Because I went like 5 over, and he was like, oh, you were going a little faster, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I didn't see the sign change there. I was like, oh, but. I was like, I could have sworn I was doing at this. And he's like, yeah, you were. He was like, but, it changes here. And I was like, oh, well, I'll make a mental note.
If you were on the concrete mile, I kind of know what you're talking about. There is like a little drop.
Yep.
And then it comes back.
Yep. And then the speed changes there.
I'll be driving that way on the way home tonight.
Yep, man. Well, hey, mind your speed changes.
I always do. I drive like an old man.
I know.
But I did get a ticket a couple weeks ago.
oh, that
For
sucks.
I got caught in a speed trap. It goes from 45 to 35 to 25, all in the span of like a quarter mile, coming down a hill. So when you're coming down a hill, like the momentum makes you kind of want to go faster. You have to really hit the brakes harder than you want to.
Yeah.
And it dropped from the 35 to the 25, and I was still doing 38, which is 13 over the speed limit.
Ugh.
So it was like kind of like his
discretion.
I looked at the clock. It was like 6:50 in the morning, and I'm thinking, and it actually said a number, like citation number 10. So I was the 10th person he pulled over, and my guess was he was just finishing his shift and he wanted to get one more to round it out. You know what I mean? Get my 10th for the day, and then go home. And I was just the lucky guy who he decided I could get him for 13 over, and I will. I could also let him go, but I won't. So I took it. I took the ticket, and part of me was like, I want to get smart with this guy. Just be like, what the fuck, man? Come on. But I know better than that. You know what I mean? Just take the ticket.
I'll see you in court, buddy.
No, I'm not going to fight it. I was speeding.
I was speeding.
Yeah. It's 2 points, not the 4. You know what I mean? But...
Bitch, go to fucking court, get no points, and pay a fine.
I already paid the ticket.
Oh.
I paid it, like, the next day.
Oh, man.
I have,
I always, like, anytime there's, like, points involved, I'm like, nah, we're gonna have a chatteroony at the date, you know what I mean? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna get rid of the points, and you're gonna get your fine, and then you still collect your revenue on your ticket that you want, and you're going to let me walk away with no points, and that's how this is going to work
with
most
my
times.
Insurance, I think I'm
as long as you're not a dick, I should say. Because if you're a dick to the cop, then you make it like known in that they remember you from that stop, and they're like, "Oh, I remember you. You're a piece of shit. I ain't fucking working with you at all."
If this guy is going to see me on my morning commute every day, or potentially see me on my morning commute every day, I don't want him to remember me at all. You know what I mean? Just let me go, whatever. But thankfully, I have point forgiveness on my insurance, so I think the first 3 points are forgiven. So I'll eat the 2 because it's not going to affect my premium. But
yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm kind of betting on myself that I'm not going to get pulled over again for a while. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're allowed like one every couple of years or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I have to look more into it.
Well, watch out, speed demon. All right.
I know. I need to drive like a old person car just to stay under the radar.
Can borrow Stan.
Yeah.
It has a name now.
He's always had a name.
That's awesome. Every car like that needs to have a good name.
Yeah,
and Stan is
it's
perfect.
Stanley.
Stanley. That's right. That's a Stanley.
No, Khaleesi is back in the house.
Who's that?
That's my car.
Oh,
My
okay.
Jeep has returned.
Nice.
She is back.
The Dragon Queen is back.
I need to work on the Volkswagen a little bit. I took her out last weekend just to make sure she's okay, and she is not. She's misfiring. I think it's I replaced the coil pack and the spark plugs and the cables. Somewhere I think I fucked up.
How?
I don't think I put the proper torque on the spark plugs. I didn't use a torque wrench.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I'm sure I just have to get a torque wrench and then just adjust it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, you can like literally get the loaner tools from most of the places.
Nah, buy it once, I have it forever. It's a $30 tool.
Okay.
I'll
I'm
be
just
alright.
saying you could have did it for free. Loan a tool.
Actually, you know what I do? There's a thrift store near me that I just stop in every once in a while because you never know what you're going to find. And tools,
Dime a dozen.
Yeah, you could find some good tools, old tools that will last forever in thrift shops. Not these new things that you know.
Find some handy cuts?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. I
Handy
need
cut?
some.
I'll keep an eye out. Yeah, I want an oscillating saw in the worst way, and I'm holding out until I find one at a thrift store.
My brother-in-law does a lot of flea markets and stuff. Like
Okay.
the one in Saylorsburg.
They're
the
great.
Poconos
We love
one.
flea markets.
He like walks around that one all the time to
Mhm.
find old tools and stuff.
Musical instruments. You can
Mhm.
find some
That's how they got
gems.
Timmy's guitar, I think,
Mhm.
was the flea market.
I almost bought a set of congas that I saw. I didn't go there with enough money, and I should have. You know, and I was just like, oh, man, those are great set of congas at a great price. I just don't have that.
Usually when you say that's a nice set of congas, you're not actually talking about congas.
Yeah, nice bongos. Yeah, no, you can find some gems at flea markets. You've been to Rice's, right? Remember Rice's?
Oh yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. That used to be one of the only
I get
places...
skeeved out by some flea markets.
Yeah, some of them are weird.
That used to be one of the only places back in the day where you could buy like fish tapes from fish shows. Like they got traded at Rice's Flea Market. Was one of the major trading hubs for fish shows back in the 80s.
Huh.
Yeah. Look at that. A little fishery for you.
You just really just fucking put it everywhere, huh?
Everywhere.
You guys are fucking phony.
I do this all the time. I talk about fish at least once a day at work. At least
Jeez.
once a show every week here.
He likes to put fish sticks in his mouth. Anyway.
Fish plays Dick's Sporting Goods Center in Colorado every year. They do. It's become such a running thing. Like Fish Dick's is like
Fish sticks.
Yeah, they do 3 nights at Fish Dick's, and then they make a bunch of dick jokes throughout all the shows. Like one night they played a whole set that was all like swing style. Everything had a swing to it, so they're like swinging dicks and stuff like that. I don't know. It's funny. Should have been there.
Should have been there.
Should have been there.
You should have been there.
They're doing 7 consecutive nights at MSG this year.
I saw that it came up in my news feed that they announced their summer tour.
Really?
Yeah, I swear all the speaking of fish around my phone makes it like
it's
be
in the
like,
algorithm
oh,
now.
look,
Yeah.
fish.
Yep.
And my phone loves me so much that I don't get any of that shit. They're like, we know.
Yeah, we know.
We know.
We're not gonna.
Yeah, we know. We know. The motherfucker tries real hard, but we know. We know.
Oh, my phone's like, you have a soft heart. Let me show you.
Let me show you that you could potentially go here. All right, but let's get the fuck out of here, all right? Because I got some last-minute cramming to do of things, like I said, and I got to get some food. We didn't say anything about the fucking F word.
My dinner was like bomb from what I tasted of
Really?
it, and we get to eat it leftover, unfortunately.
Well, that's the way it be. But
it happens.
All right. Well, next time we may have some more tales of the show and some other stuff because there's going to be a lot of peeps hanging out. So I'm sure there's going to be some more events to occur. So till next week, stay metal.
Be metal.
But recycle.
And wash your hands, bitches.